Hello everyone, and welcome back to Sonic Heroes on the Microsoft Xbox. I am one well sheep yet again.
You fools must all have a death wish. Witness this invincible battleship built by the hands of a genius. Its power unmatched throughout the universe.
Once we start a job, we finish the job. That's our policy. We're Team Chaotic.
Here's your next mission. Infiltrate the thing's whale shark flagship. Be careful not to get detected by the enemies.
And there we are, ladies and gentlemen. It is now time for a stealth level, like I said, throughout the course of the game. And basically, we need to get through this stage without being detected by any of Eggman's mooks. Which basically means SBO is going to be your main man during the course of this one. Now, don't worry though, you are able to actually destroy any of the bandits you come across. You are able to hurt and destroy the enemies. So don't fret if they're in your way and you can't really do much to stop them. Just switch out to SBO and you can still boop them as per usual. You know, ladies and gentlemen. What can I tell ya? But yes, this is the final part of the Team Chaotic's playthrough of the game, which means we are slowly getting closer to the end of this LP, folks. We are now one part away from the grand finale of the playthrough, so are you excited? I know I am. I know I am indeed. This LP's been going on for a lot longer than I anticipated, thanks to my illnesses and such. But yes, now it's time to continue on with this, and honestly, this stage is a neat little change of pace. It can be a little bit finicky though, because sometimes the enemies, the AI isn't really designed with detecting people in mind. So from time to time, you will usually find yourself getting caught by one of Eggman's mooks from around the corner, and sometimes they'll deliberately look at you and they won't even detect you then. So it's a little bit fiddly. It is, well, I say a little bit, it is extremely fiddly to get through the stage, but you know, apart from the fiddliness from the enemy AI being pretty damn silly in terms of how it works, you know, this is a fun level. I do like this one, you know, folks. It's a neat little change of pace that isn't too bad, and honestly, it's similar sort of deal to what you expect from the frog level, only ramped up in difficulty, you know, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, you honestly, you've come to see what to expect from the stage already in this playthrough. You know, in the frog stage, it's just, this is that taken up to its zenith, is that taken up to its natural difficulty increase, you know, ladies and gentlemen. But, you know, you do need to be careful, you do need to pay attention, and every chance you get, always make sure you're swapping into SBO's stealth mode here, because otherwise you never know, you'll go off a grind rail, and there's a very high chance you'll go off a grind rail right into a bunch of enemies that are right in the environment, which can be annoying, you know, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, whenever you are playing as SBO solo, you do have a bit of a range attack that you may be able to take advantage of it if you need be, which is basically the shuriken, you know, as ninjas tend to use. Basically, you throw the shuriken at enemies and they take damage. I don't find it to be the most useful thing in the world, because honestly, the shuriken is it's pretty inaccurate, and this game isn't really designed around using melee attacks in that sort of way. So it can be a little bit tricky to pull off, but I do recommend utilizing your shurikens whenever coming up against enemies from a distance, whenever you're SBO solo, because it's one way of taking down the health with less risk that you're gonna, I don't know, jump into one of the spears and get killed, you know, ladies and gentlemen. There's an instance of the enemy sort of seeing me despite me being behind a missile turret, you know. There's stuff like that throughout the entirety of the stage, ladies and gentlemen. So, like I said, it's not the best AI-wise, it's not the most well-programmed sort of, the enemies aren't the most well-programmed things in the world for this mission style, but, you know, it does its job. The mission itself is pretty fine and dandy, all things considered. And don't worry if the cannons see you, because the cannons for some reason don't actually count as they don't count to be a part of Eggman's arsenal. So if the cannons go and see you and start shooting at you, then yeah, you're not actually at any risk of getting caught. It's only if the normal egg pawns, if enemies of that nature see you, that you're in trouble, you know, ladies and gentlemen. So thankfully the game is a little bit lenient in that regard, so you don't have to deal with all the turrets before pulling switches that are locked behind certain crates that you need Vector to get at, you know, ladies and gentlemen. But, there's that. Although, I will be perfectly honest, I do consider this to be the hardest egg fleet style in the entire game. Now, basically, during the course of this game, I've sort of been hinting to that, Team Chaotix I feel to be the sort of middling difficulty level between Team Sonic and Team Dark. When it comes to this zone is hardest as Team Chaotix. This is the hardest stage in the entire game when it comes to difficulty. And I mean raw difficulty, not the sort of artificial sort of bleh, I don't like this level type of stuff like in the Blood Castle level in the previous part. But basically the stage is it's a harder one, you know. It's still not too difficult because obviously this is a Sonic game and Sonic games aren't known for their difficulty with the exception of maybe Eggman Land and Sonic Unleashed. But it's still the general difficulty level you'd expect from a Sonic game. It's not too difficult, but it can probably catch you off guard if you don't know what you're doing, you know, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, during your first playthrough, this will probably be one of your least favorite stages in the game. At least it was during my first playthrough back in the day, just because I just struggled to get through this when I was younger. I just absolutely hated it. Not so much now. Nowadays, the only real stage I really hate is probably the torch one and some other stages here and there. But
So good. Here's your fucking mission. I need capture and a being held captive in one of the rooms on this flagship. Find the keys to this room and rescue me. There are a total of 5 keys. Good luck.
Hey guys, I think I saw a key somewhere around here.
And there we are, ladies and gentlemen. It is now time for the final zone of the Team Chaotix playthrough, where we're basically going to be dealing with keys again. We're going to have to hunt down 5 different keys during the course of the stage in order to free our so very mysterious caller who's been giving us these missions throughout the course of the game. I'm trying to be very vague about who he is, but let's face it, everybody with the brain cells can probably figure out who this big bad guy, this employer of ours is, you know. But yeah, basically we need to free our employer from Eggman's flagship, from the clutches of its depths, and see what exactly is going on behind the scenes here. Because honestly, this game has been very light on plot. But one thing that may actually surprise a couple of people during the course of this game is the fact that even though this game is light on plot, there is one overarching story that is actually going on that does link all of these storylines together, which you won't know until you beat every single playthrough of the game, and you won't know until you've gone into the final story. Because yes, ladies and gentlemen, Sonic Heroes has a lost story in the same vein that Sonic Adventure 2 had one, in the same vein that Sonic Adventure 1 had one, in the same vein that many Sonic games have one, you know, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, there's a lost story that you can only access once you have beat the game as every single team. And that's when all the plot lines come together. That's when everything starts to really make sense during the course of the game. And it's kind of a shame because it does have a bit of a mood whiplash, in my opinion, where I might as well talk about this now because it's only the next part of the final story, and I'm not going to spoil the plot or anything, but the mood of the game right up until this point has been your typical happy-go-lucky fare. You know, it's been really lighthearted, Sonic Adventure romp type deal. Well, a Sonic Adventure, not Sonic Adventure styled like Sonic Adventure 1, but you know what I mean. But from the next storyline, that's when everything takes a turn for the worst. That's where everything, well, I say for the worst, it's actually not bad. I do like the fact that it goes into a whole seriousness. But basically everything turns serious for the final storyline, and well, I say serious in heavy quotations, because it's serious in terms of everything's really, ooh, we gotta do this, otherwise bad things are gonna happen, but it's not serious in regards to, you know, ow, the edge, you know, I don't know. Maybe you understand what I mean, I hope you understand what I mean. If you don't understand what I mean, then I'm just rambling incoherently at this point, but basically, I just find it to be a bit of a mood whiplash compared to the rest of the game, which I don't mind because, for me, I don't mind light-hearted Sonic games like this one, but I do like them to have a bit of a... I do like the stories to be I like the stories to be more like Sonic Adventure 1 and Sonic Adventure 2, you know, where they have a decent mix of light-heartedness and seriousness. And honestly, for me, I actually, if anyone was to actually ask me what I consider to be the best Sonic storyline is, I will honestly say Sonic Unleashed. Because that game had everything right in terms of the story. It had the dialogue down, it had the... You know, it had the tone down, it wasn't too serious, it wasn't too light-hearted. It was a perfect romp that kids and adults alike can enjoy, and honestly, I love Sonic Unleashed's story. I'll talk more about that when we get to Sonic Unleashed, because that's quite a ways down the line, but yeah, if anyone were to ask me what my favourite Sonic storyline to date is, I would say Sonic Unleashed, just because they have so much right in regards to it, you know? And if someone were to ask me my least favourite, I would probably say... I don't know, actually. What would be my least favourite Sonic storyline? Probably, at this point in time of the recording, probably Sonic Lost World or Sonic Generations. And that's just because they're so light on story and the characters aren't the best written and the dialogue feels really forced in those games. But I'll talk more about that later on. That's just me going into why I'm not too big a fan of the current voice writers at the time of this recording, by the way. I need to keep saying that because, you know, I know that in the future something may change and my opinion may change or something along those lines. So I bet I have to add that disclaimer because otherwise, you never know. But as things stand right now, I'm not too fond of the current not voice cast. I like the current voice cast. I'm not fond of the current... what are they called? The current writing cast, you know? But I could rant for pages on it, and I'm not going to do that because obviously this is a Sonic Heroes playthrough. It's not a let's shit on the current writers thing. I don't know where I was going. I was sort of trying to think of a good pun with that, but the pun didn't come through. I'm not the true hero you're looking for. I'm not the hero Sonic needs. Actually, wait, I'm not the hero Sonic deserves, but I am the one it needs. There we go, that works. I'll go with that. But yeah, the general rule of thumb with the stone is pretty much the same as all the stones up until this point, you know, just keep an eye out for the keys. The keys are actually in pretty obvious places for the most part. You can quite easily see them coming up whenever you're progressing through, so... You know, it's quite easy in that regard, but I don't know if there's more keys than you need in the stage, or if there's an exact amount in the stage. If there's an exact amount of keys that you need to collect, then maybe it can be a little bit tricky, because you may find yourself running straight past the key by accident, just due to how massive, in terms of sheer scale, the stage is, you know, ladies and gentlemen. But honestly, I never had problems with the stage. I usually get through it without much of an issue. I usually find the keys relatively quickly. In fact, there's the final key right there. And there we are, ladies and gentlemen. That's effectively the Team Chaotic storyline done and dusted. So now it's time for the boss. Oh boy. Although the boss we've already fought before, so there's nothing really new in regards to what we're doing with the boss. But hey, it's time for the boss. Yay!
Looks like we're in a jam, boys.
Evil must die. Beware my ninja power.
Ah, enough of this! Espiel Charmy Victor! Time to meet your maker!
Bring it on!
I'll show you what real evil is! Defeated? Impossible! No!
I don't know why you're so shocked. Every team under the sun's defeated you at this point. In fact, does this just take place on a massive arena that's... I can imagine all the teams fighting the Egg Emperor at the same time right now at different areas. How is that possible, you might ask? Well, that Eggman, spoiler alert, isn't the real Eggman. Will the real Eggman please stand up? Well, yes, he will. Right in this cutscene. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the Team Chaotix playthrough. So thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't be sheepish, people. And I will catch you all next time as I leave you off with the Team Chaotix song, Team Chaotix, and the final cutscene, which gives us quite a unique twist. So yeah. Thank you all for watching, hope you all enjoyed, don't be sheepish, I'll catch you all next time as we finally finish off Sonic Heroes. Don't be sheepish, I'll see you after. Bye!
Guess it was a fake after all.
What do you mean, after all?
We're here to save you. Dr. Eggman, I presume.
What's going on?
What's up?
You knew it was me all along, didn't you?
It's all part of being a good detective.
Were we fooled that easily?
You're rotten!
Hey, hold on, you guys. It's no trick, and besides, I plan on paying you. You'll be rewarded handsomely for helping me. As soon as I conquer the world, I will pay you.
Some nerve promising what you ain't got.
We've been had. Just wait a minute. Just listen to me.